Are we live yet, Beverly?
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
News?
I wish.
Wouldn't it be nice if the news were boring?
Boring and positive.
Yeah, but mostly boring.
Please break it up.
Boring is fine.
Budget properly allocated. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so should we make a start? Okay, welcome everybody to this formal session of the Communications Strategy Group. We have an agenda in front of us. Are there any apologies for absence?
No, I didn't expect Ravina, so she might be running a bit late. She did call earlier to say to double check that it was still on today. So
all right, so
she might come in, but no formal.
But no formal apologies as such. Okay, and this is how I bumped into new councillor Mordew in Waitrose about an hour ago, and said you're welcome to come along, but she had other things on her agenda today. But I know that she is coming to join our group.
All right,
From after the next meeting, so that's great news. We always like plenty of councillors, and we would have Jane along to this one. So, well, you might want to limit that. Right, are there any declarations of interest? No. Okay, good. Meeting notes from the last meeting of the 12th of October, which was an informal meeting that we had via Zoom. Any actions actions obviously won't come out of that, but any comments about those notes? I have the previous meeting to sign off as well at some point. We're all okay with that? Okay, we read those notes then. Newsletter review. Right.
Anyone with me?
Oh, that's Ravina just arriving.
Yeah.
That's okay, Ravina, welcome. Okay, so quality of production and content. Any comments about that from anybody? Have everybody had a copy delivered to their home?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
No?
Yeah, I've had it. It looks good. And my partner, who's never paid attention to these before, looked at it and I was like, oh, it's really nice and professional. So
that's good accolade. Okay. Well, pass compliments back to your partner then, that they found it useful. It's good. Yes, Ravina.
Can I just ask, when it was delivered yesterday, I thought, was that the picture we chose for the front?
I think it was.
No, I think it had to be changed, didn't it?
Oh, did
because
it?
the resolution wasn't good enough on the one we showed.
Yes. Okay. I did wonder that
Because we
was.
chose that one which has the, the market, was it the orchestra and stuff and everything going?
It was two resolutions because it had been, so Russell could take a photo, but then he hadn't got the actual original photo he sent, so we'd only had copies and we couldn't make it bigger because it would pixelate it too much. And obviously Christina gave her professional opinion to say that it because it was so small, you can't, it's not good to put that on the front page. We could have got away with it if it was smaller and inside, but not for the front cover. So that's why we chose a different.
I did wonder.
We were.
I did think.
but I think there was an email to that. Now that you say it,
yes.
there was an email to that effect as well.
Oh, I didn't see
Not that I would have remembered earlier, but now that you say it.
Right.
It did look good. I know. I haven't had one at home yet, but I got the ones for Books Court.
I will look into that, Barbara.
You should have had it by now.
You should have, yes.
Yeah, it's a bit worrying. Everybody else has had it delivered to home?
Are we?
Well, I can't remember at the moment.
No, I think we would need to do this in confidential to raise a question. I'll raise it at a future date.
We've got a confidential part of this meeting anyway.
Yes.
Okay, and since it's arising out of this one, I want to raise a question about the delivery company, but I'm not going to do it in a public session.
Okay.
Is that
all right.
okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
What I can do is I can go back to them and just check the trackers and make sure we put on.
Okay, if you can do that.
Yeah,
that's okay. So yeah, we don't actually have distribution on the as well the bullet points, do we? Just a thought.
We can check it.
Delivery.
Delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, so we do.
We have delivery on one of the bullet points.
Okay,
Within
so
five years should
there are-
be inappropriate in the public session.
Okay, there are queries about delivery which we'll deal with outside of the meeting. Okay, fine. In order to protect, well, confidentiality and so on. Okay. Any other comments about the actual newsletter and its content? Rebecca?
To be honest, I only had a moment to flick through it briefly, so I haven't read it all. But it looks good.
Yeah.
I was just taken aback by the picture on the front not being the one I thought it had.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Sorry, I was trying to look for if I had it on my phone.
Is there a copy here?
We haven't got any copies around, have we?
We do in the office, I just didn't manage before
Okay,
to come
all
in.
right.
Remind me of the new picture, just to jog my memory.
It's sort of taken from Browns towards you've got the old jail and Jardines and the lights you can see. So it's
Yeah.
It looks all right.
No, I was just trying to think whether
Yeah.
I did see it. But
Okay.
I'm trying to picture the picture.
Okay.
No.
Okay, well, apologies for not spotting the email where you discussed this. I didn't.
Yeah, I think I missed that one as well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
definitely-
we sent in just to explain it to because you guys needed to know, so we didn't get to this, but especially do let me know if you haven't seen it at home. I will check the trackers, but
Okay,
you-
now
you
do
want
check the
copies,
trackers everybody.
please let me know.
Margaret hasn't.
I'm
received
fairly
it
sure we've not
currently,
had it.
And maybe even Martin, yeah, I was going to say, anyway, Martin hasn't received it. Okay, all right.
And we're in a sort of similar area, I suppose, ish.
Just in terms of the layout, as we discussed before the meeting, the one about the wildflowers and the cutting was, given we gave it a full page, it didn't seem to fill the full page, even though there was a bit of extra text, but not as much extra text as we thought there could be. Okay, not critical. There were some nice pictures on the page, but yeah, okay. Any other comments about the content? Okay, delivery audio version. We're now doing it on a demand basis, aren't we? Have we had anybody asking for the audio?
No, not particularly, but we still do get listeners online, we still do get.
Is it online now? When I looked at this today, before I came down
It
here.
is, it's on the website, and it's Anna who did it for this one because Ruth wasn't available to record this one.
Hang on. Go back a point. I looked on the website I just want to hear the first few words of the audio. And when I clicked on the newsletter, all I got was the newsletter. I didn't get an option on that page.
No,
for the
there's
audio.
no, so it's as a post on the website. So if you type in, for example, winter newsletter audio, yes, I think it's like that, and then it pops up and it will autoplay and it will play for that.
But it's not, when you call up the newsletter, the links are not there.
Yes, it is. I've just pulled
Is
it
it?
up. In silent.
On my desktop, I went onto the website page and looked at the newsletters, and they had them as PDF.
There it is.
It's a pleasure of reading the winter issue 2023 of the Buckingham Town
And
Matters.
where is that?
This includes
No,
a message.
I'm just going to stop it if I can work out.
Where's the link to that? Is it next to
Under the,
newsletter?
on the Buckingham Town Council website, I typed in newsletter and it came out with all of the ones, including winter
Yes, I just
2023.
first.
And I clicked on that and the audio came up as an option.
As an option.
And I'm somebody who's not good at
No,
navigation,
I-
and I found it very quickly, so.
So the trouble is news, audio, newsletter, and it's an audio.
Yes, but that's the point I'm making.
But it
Is that
comes up
when
straight
people put
away.
in newsletter under publications, town council, and they go to the newsletter, the audio is not there as a link. You have to actively search for it.
That can be,
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
It isn't there.
no, but that can be added.
Yeah, can you add it
Yeah.
so the link is there?
So could the link be just below the actual newsletter or at the top or something?
Yeah, we can look at how best to lay it out because it's when it's changed, there's different ways and the back end of the website and how we do it, but sure that we can just add the columns of the audio and just.
Yeah, if you can, if you
Yeah,
can
that's
do
fine.
that,
That's fine.
because yes, if you can find it by searching, not disputing that. But I think we ought to allow people to book the newsletter, follow the links from the front page.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll
Then
make
again,
it.
as an option.
Well, actually, having said that, it is there under the winter Buckingham newsletter out for delivery now. It says down the bottom, there's an audio version of our newsletter
It still comes up.
is available via SoundCloud.
Yeah, but if you go to home,
Okay.
go to home,
It's not
and
on
then
the
go to
homepage.
your town council,
Right.
and then go to scroll down, publications,
Okay.
Buckingham Town Matters. It's not there. Because if you click on winter 2023, now click on that.
Yeah, so these on that page, John, we usually just put.
Yeah, that is the PDFs.
Put the PDF,
Yeah.
we usually just put the PDFs of actually the newsletter, but we can look at adding.
If you
maybe
could.
formatting the page
Yeah.
and seeing how that will work. That's,
Yeah, it just needs another.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if
fine.
you go into news and find it there,
Yeah.
then
It
it's
is
there.
there.
Yeah, that's
But
fine, yeah,
people don't necessarily know to
We
do
just
that.
have it in all spaces.
No, that's absolutely
Yeah,
fine,
yeah.
yeah, I will make it.
Good shout.
Okay, any other points to raise about the current newsletter that's out all the time? Any other feedback we've had from people? We never do, I know, but just on the off chance that someone might have, well, we've had feedback
Oh,
from
yeah.
Mm.
Anya's partner. Any other formal or informal feedback we've had? We've put diligent effort into this. We've been nice to get feedback from people, but
I
Yeah,
think,
but I, go on.
sorry, no, I was just going to say, mine was delivered yesterday, so I think it's quite early, maybe not everyone's had theirs
True,
yet,
that's
so.
certainly true.
Because normally you do get some sort of feedback from other people.
It should have, yeah, it should have finished distribution by Monday, Tuesday, so there might be the odd that's still circulating if, for
Yeah.
example, someone on the delivery company's in ill or, things like that, but the agreement was they should all be delivered by today, ready for the Christmas light switch on,
Yeah,
so,
just
but,
about, yeah.
yes, that's fine.
And I would say silence is a very powerful agreement to the newsletter in this instance.
Yeah,
Because it's very easy to complain
Mm,
it is, yes.
yeah, and people
and not to agree or praise. So I would take it as a, 2 thumbs
It's
up,
okay.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fair point. Okay. All right, any other issues to raise with the delivery, the content, the style? Yeah. Okay, all right. Future newsletter, Appendix A then. Scoot on to that. We have the usual pages, obviously yet to be kind of completed, but we have the front cover message from Anya, past events, current events, future events. So 4 pages of events in various ways to alert people to what's coming up. You will use count and the list of councillors and members. We'll get that to our full complement of councillors in the back page, which was in that last time. And then the events diary on the back. So that's 8 1/4 pages, which gives us 3 3/4 pages to add the rest to. So, okay with that so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So council action precept infographic, we always put pages, at least 1 page in for that, don't we? So that's probably going to be this. When's this coming up, by the way, Beth?
So the deadline for articles is the 4th of January. It goes to print on 14th February and distribution will be finished by the 15th of March.
So that's
Is that that's too soon then, isn't it?
the preset won't be agreed until January.
Yeah. I don't think we can do that.
This is just a one that's agreed, but because timings have changed from changes we made to our newsletter and how we do, 3 and then the 4th in the summer, we can remove that and change that and do that in a later edition and swap it out. That's not a problem.
Because we do have like a format of what goes in each copy.
We do, yes, and
which
that's
we've
why
now had to change.
that's why you can see we've had to put again what the town council achieved
Yeah, I'll come
2023
back
to
to that,
2024.
yeah. So perhaps between now and when we meet next, we need a new version of that to accommodate
We can look
the
at
date
that, yeah.
changes. And just sign off on what would be the regular things. And yeah, because clearly this is going to be too early for, we may not have set by now.
It needs to be done by the end of January, so I think it's about the third week of January, isn't it?
That's cutting it fine.
Yeah, question, but when will we communicate the precept then? Because the following one is just this slim one, the slimmed down version is probably no room in it. And that'll be too late, that'll be in late spring, won't it? Does it make sense to push the publication of this one back by 2 weeks? Or is that not even an option?
We can look at that. That just means we have to look at the meeting dates again, which shouldn't be a problem.
Whose meeting dates?
Ours.
This one.
Oh, I see, yes, yeah.
But I mean, the formal, when the council tax demand goes out, it has in there the preset detail, isn't it? And the amount of increase or decrease.
Yes, there's, because it's an infographic, it will have a little thing to say this is how much forecasted on parks and green spaces and this, that, and the other. So yes, it does.
Well, what I'm saying is that will we be in breach of the legal regulations by producing that information before it goes out for the council?
I'm not sure. It's always, we've always put it in the spring.
No, see, now you say it, I think there has been a scrabble in the past, hasn't there? Because
There
it
has.
doesn't get agreed until right at the end of
It is
January.
true, it is always the last minute thing.
It might be that we could move the print date
Just a
a
week
week
back.
or so, yeah, that shouldn't be so much of a problem.
Because if we're putting it in a newsletter, the spring one is the only one where it makes sense. It needs to be very close to the council tax letter that people are getting, because otherwise, if you have it in a newsletter 3 months later, nobody's, it's too late.
I mean, the precept's a public meeting and it's broadcast, so there's
True.
no reason why
True.
we don't think
True,
there's
so
any
it's
issue with
public
that.
knowledge by then,
Yeah.
that's true, yeah, true. Claire?
Sorry, I'm just looking.
While I say looks at Canada, when does this spring edition take us up to? What dates do we include?
We include on the back or in the.
No, just what span, up to March, April, May, June?
Up to June.
June, so it
June.
would say in the future events, it would say, oh, we're planning
Right.
Fringe Week in July, let us know any details, but it will be sort of, we run it in the middle, the end of June, start of July.
Our preset meeting was set 29th of January.
And this is meant to go to print when, remind us?
The 14th of February.
Can I suggest that when you do a future appendix A, you put those dates on?
Yeah.
Because we're often asking this question.
Yeah, probably every time, several times in the same meeting, as a
Some
matter
of
of
what
fact.
goes in is very date dependent. Okay. So hang on, so are we resolved then that we're going to shift things back a week in order to actually make it less of a scrabble?
Print date.
The print
Back.
date,
We
yeah.
can do, because I set the dates for the NAT chart when we have to send it, so I
Yeah.
can speak to them and say, we want to push it back a week, and that, because we do the summer one in-house, there's quite a time frame to get this, there's enough time for us to produce it and get all the content for that, so it wouldn't affect the next edition, for example, so
Yeah.
I don't see a problem putting it back a week, no.
Okay, so that will then allow just a little bit more space
Yeah.
for the agreement of the precepts at the end of January, for this to go in as an infographic into the next edition.
Okay, yeah.
Does that agree?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right. Fine, okay, we've agreed that then. And you will need to revise maybe our meeting dates accordingly, do you think? All right, we'll
I
come to
will-
that, we'll come to that on the agenda
Yeah,
later on
yeah.
this meeting. Okay, right, the next item. Go on.
Just before you go, so we're still on the main bunch that we go into the spring one with.
Yeah,
Future events in there. Do we not do anything for St George's Day?
not as such.
No,
We've got the flag.
Flag that, so.
There hasn't been a scout parade for several years. So I think I've been alerted to one 2 years ago and then it was cancelled, and I don't think there was even any suggestion last
We
year.
don't have an event for St George's Day.
No, well, it was because I read the pride flag raising. I didn't know whether we had a St George's Day.
Well, we put St George's
Raising.
flags all around the town.
Yes, I know we do that, yes.
I don't think we do a St George's flag raising
No.
as such.
I mean, considering it's our England Day,
I think,
and there's nothing that we like, apart from putting the flags up, there's no,
I would say-
official marking
I
of
would say
it.
that's an issue for town centre events, isn't it? So
Yeah,
okay.
it's definitely not
it's
for
not an
this.
issue.
No, it's
No, that's why I was asking whether,
Yeah.
you know,
There isn't one
no,
at the moment. Is the answer.
good enough.
Okay.
We raise the flag, but Catherine pops out and does it in full. Sorry.
Oh, so we do put St George's flag.
Yes, we do, and we decorate the town as well.
We don't make
But there
it
isn't
work.
a
We don't make it into a thing.
formal ceremony for it.
Do we put St George's flag on the old jail as well? There isn't really scope for that.
Yeah, all around the town where
We put it
those
all around
flag
the town.
markers are.
I think that's probably
I
enough.
think there are plenty of St George's flags on those days, on that day, so I don't think that's an issue.
Okay. Moving on then, back to the spring articles required. What the town council achieved, now we've just had that, of course, in the current edition. Why was it delayed until now?
So because there was other articles that we prioritised and put in for
For the autumn.
autumn. We should have been in the spring, but we couldn't put it in the spring. And then summer obviously was fringe/summer, so it was a condensed version.
Yeah.
Autumn, there was too many other required articles that needed to go at that time, so we could only put it in the winter. But from the agreement we made last time to say, you know, going forward, if we do the 3 full and then 1 condensed for the summer, that is then, that article will go in the spring.
Yeah, we agreed that it didn't have to go in any particular one because it's what we had done.
Yeah, I know, but why didn't we put it in spring last year?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember why we didn't put it in the
all right,
spring.
All right, we are where we are. Question is, it might look a bit strange, the next edition also was identical, and the words will not be identical, because I read through it briefly before it came down. And what we were describing is something more or less what's happened in the last few months, not so the year ending April, you know, sort of thing. So
Might have been better with hindsight not to have put that one in at all last time and just skip to this year's, but we've done it now, so.
I have a feeling it's not sensible to put it again
No.
in the spring one. Because as John says, it's going to be very, very much the same.
Yeah.
And I don't think people will gain any additional information from having more or less the same information again. I mean, in a way, people forget, obviously, but let's assume they actually read this and remember it, because otherwise we could, you know, keep putting the same stuff anyway. So,
Louise
yeah.
and I did have the same thoughts as you all, but we thought to honour what we agreed last time in that, but then we'll explain it. So we can swap that out, obviously, for something else. There's more, the articles that are suggested, there's more there than the actual allowance, so there is an extra sort of 2 pages.
Yeah.
All right, this is back to looking at the schedule of what goes in 3 editions that we have most scope of. I think it makes more sense to put an article in the winter edition, which is what your town council's been doing for you this year. Because a lot of you, this year means the last calendar year.
Yeah,
Rather than
thinking,
we all work by.
That's just all, yeah.
But most people don't work by.
no.
If only they work by academic. Unless you work by business. Tax wise, maybe, but not really. So why don't we agree here that this sort of discussion goes in for winter next year?
Yeah.
And we call it what the town council's been doing for you in the last year.
Yeah, last 12 months, yeah.
To swap, so for that, to put that in the winter, not a spring one.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not even the autumn one, but you know, just repeated what we got this year, perhaps with a different title, into the winter 2024.
And I know you touched on it earlier, John, but if Louise and I actually sit down and relook at it again and just, so we don't fall into the same topic of there's so many suggested articles in this one and this one and this one that this situation is proposed again.
Yeah.
We can always have a look at that.
Sorry.
We can always have a look at the schedule.
Yeah.
And then bring it back as well.
Yeah. But for the moment, are you saying you don't want us to actually formally agree that you want the flexibility as to what goes where?
No, I just thought it's to have a look at everything, and then we could bring it back and then maybe agree it so that we can go forward and do that.
All right, let's just decide it's not going in spring.
Yeah.
And we'll wait on the actual
Yeah, that's fine.
ebb and flow of articles when you prepare your version, rather than formally agree that that's going to go in the winter edition next year. So it leaves things a little bit more flexible.
Just use the word best endeavour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Is that okay? Is that okay with
fine,
everyone?
Yeah.
Sensible.
Because it's best to keep things flexible, because the world is pretty volatile and unpredictable at the moment, so let's be the same. Okay, so it's definitely not going in the spring edition. That means that gives us
2 more pages.
two more pages. So, okay, moving on down then. Annual town meeting, 1 page about what it's going to be about. Do we need a whole page on the annual town meeting?
It was in this last edition again, wasn't it? The annual
was.
town meeting.
Yeah, but only a little thing without.
It was just to say the provisional date, because
Yeah.
it was changed to a provisional date of the 18th of April.
And is that date?
From,
Or is it still
yes, I think
provisional?
that's been agreed, yeah, that's
Confirmed
been agreed.
that.
Yeah. But I think we need more in there on what the meeting is about and what people should be doing in
Yeah.
preparation, etc., etc. So I think we do need, I would think we do need a page on that one.
I agree. Okay. So a page, and did we do it last time as a kind of invitation?
We did the BNDP one as an invitation, not the small annual town meeting, the last one we put it into the last spring edition. I can't remember, but
Well, let's do it as an
You can,
invitation
yeah.
again. You are invited to sort of thing, so people see that it is something for them to be at. We know 98% of the population don't even bother to turn up, of course.
But imagine they all did.
But imagine
So like-
let's think about the process, but yeah, it would be fantastic. So let's make it an invitation, 1 page with a little description, which means who decides what goes in the annual town meeting, which
Generally do that first.
okay, is it not formally done by?
I think you bring it back.
Generally, no, I mean, we might discuss what the resources, sort of vague plans, but the actual in-depth bits. usually-
Okay, all right, okay.
What's the final delivery date, sorry?
the final distribution date was the 15th of March 2024.
Okay, so that's okay, but the publication, the actual last print.
So what's on the nat chart at the moment, it's going to go to print on the 14th of February, and then it will be finished distribution by the 15th of March, but
We've
If
now
we
put it back a week,
back a week,
so that's
that would
putting
just
us-
mean it will be, yeah, and then that will mean the distribution will move back a week as well.
Okay, so the final decision about the content and the style of the annual town meeting had to be made by the middle of February.
Yeah.
Because we're putting text in.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so whatever process is in place, it needs to work up to that.
Yes.
Okay, so there's not a bland kind of annual town meeting, there's quite specifics in there. And the-
Yeah, so in previous when we've had like themes for it,
Yeah.
we've explained the theme, who's coming, what people to expect, that there's stalls and that there's tables where they can obviously speak to these external organisations and
Yeah.
chat about
Yeah.
I would be realistic, we aren't going to have confirmed attendees of that. So it's,
Okay, well, we could
It's gonna be
suggest
there.
so and so we could invite. It's the usual sort of thing, isn't it? There was only police being invited, blah, 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 and then it would turn up live, it would turn up live, isn't it?
I really would have put out with people by suggesting that they're going to come when they would have told us, well, the bus is going out with them.
No, but we can in the invitation, or I'm going to say Elton John has been invited.
No, I'm just saying that realistically, we need to be a bit.
Okay, well, we leave that in your capable
Yeah.
hands to have wording that will excite people's interest, but leave people a little bit off the hook if necessary. Although one would hope. That's certainly the key players would be there. Okay. Okay, agreed there? One-page invitation. You are invited to take part in the future of the hotel. Okay, renovated skate park. There's a reasonable chance it will be done, but it's taking shape quite a lot at the moment. There's lots and lots of concrete going down. There's still a bit of exposed ironwork, but it's rapidly taking shape. I said to one chap the other day, "So what's good business work was finished?" So it wasn't that
Very
to me.
helpful.
But I'm guessing they want to be done by Christmas time, aren't they? They
Yeah.
won't be hanging around. I'm really hoping to be done by the Christmas vacation for the children. So, but it does mean that we should be able to get something up and running. Why an advertisement for renovated skate park?
I think more that should be to highlight it and to say that it's had a refurb and what it looks like.
Presumably, we don't mean Buckinghamshire Council is paying for this.
Could we maybe put into this article a little bit of history as to when it was first proposed and when the Section 106 money was first found? And let's see how long it's taken. I don't know. And that your town councils have been on the case all that time. Ravina.
Is there an official opening for it?
We don't know yet, do
We have been in communication with trying to find out.
Because that would be perfect if it happened before and that pictures and you could do a full page spread,
Yeah.
Councillor
Let's-
John Harvey cutting the ribbon.
I'm not
Having
really
you
like
go on
that. That would be down
skateboard.
to the mayor to do that. Or somebody.
Well,
One of these guy
It is
councils.
if it isn't ours, it'd be a
No.
representative of
No.
Bucks
Probably
Council.
won't even invite anybody.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's
History
not
repeats
collaborate
itself.
on what we can do on that one.
Yeah, but something around a page, but I do think a bit of history in there would be good. Just a bit of a time. Just to make the point. So,
Have kids skating in Victorian garden.
Oh,
Because it's taken since that time.
health and safety.
Actually, it'd be really nice, because this is something that either Headley or Derek used to always reference, is that there is a legal thing on that part of the land, that it must be in place for the entertainment and
Yeah.
children. Could we get a copy of that? Is that knocking around anyway?
Not that I'm aware. We can.
It must be in an
look into
archive somewhere.
it. It's not our land, so we wouldn't necessarily hold that document.
Well,
we could have a look,
We can
but
have a look, yeah.
If it's, it just would be nice, because some people say, oh, why don't we do this here or whatever, and
So
people
that'd be
say,
in the borough days then, wouldn't it?
you know
Yeah.
what,
In the borough days.
it would be,
Yeah, it might take a rather long time. So if you rifle through the drawers and find it, then that's fine, but I wouldn't particularly suggest we make somebody hunt for
No,
it
but-
for a long time.
I would say contact Buckinghamshire Archives, because I once, when I was mayor and we had the 100th anniversary of the 1918 armistice, I went and looked at the minutes of the town council meetings at that time. So the documents are there. I would say make an initial kind of inquiry. Do you have such a document? And if needs be, I'll take myself walk down the road and I'll go to the archives and find it.
I have a feeling there's something at Swan Pool, actually. The plaque that was at the Lido is now up at the Swan Pool. Whether it gives that kind of detail, I know where it is. So
Okay.
like,
Oh, if you
I'm going up tomorrow. If I remember, this is my problem. I'll have to
Okay.
set myself a thing to ping as I walk past.
Yeah, yeah, I know the feeling. I went to see Ross Noble, the comedian in Oxford, a couple of weeks ago, and say he's very scatty in how he organises his humour. And at one point he says, people keep asking me if I thought about getting a diagnosis for ADHD. And yes, of course I've thought about it, but then I think about something else.
Yeah, very good.
Shall we move on?
So, okay. Keep in touch. Let's see if we can find that archival document. If it is there, or they think it might be there, I'm happy to be tasked to go down to Aylesbury and find it. Okay, I've done that before. It's fascinating. Okay, so we've got one page on Renwick Skate Park. We got 1 3/4 pages left. Go on, Margaret.
Well, do you remember on Monday when Viv Stern came, we talked about the possibility of including that information about the waste or the waste
We did.
reduction product?
We did, and we could, especially if we managed to spell the program correctly. But yes, we could do that. Yeah, well, let's look at what we've got here elsewhere.
How many pages are we talking in total? 12 or 16?
16.
Okay. In that case, I think there's some more left because we just
Yeah,
took 2 out there. More than just a page and 3 pages left.
We've got the 2 that we've taken out.
Oh,
Yeah,
true.
we're up to 11 1/4 at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've still got, a few more.
Okay. Well, let's sign off on the Swan Trail auction. 3/4 of a page on that.
Yeah.
I think that's worth doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that would just
And there'll be pretty pictures as well, won't there?
yeah, people being handed their swan, sort of thing, whatever. It's because
I'm not lifting it there.
I mean,
I know.
that is a triumph, that wasn't it? I mean,
the whole Swan Trail.
Yeah, it's-
I mean, all credit to Sam and her initiative in making it come together, and anybody else who helped was really, really, really good, absolutely without doubt. So a reprise of that auction, etc. Right, so that leaves us how many pages now?
So we're
About 11.
12, so
12.
16, 4.
4 more pages.
4 more.
Really? You sure?
Yeah, we've got 8 1/4, 9 1/4, 10 1/4, 11 1/4, 3/4 is 12.
Pages.
4 pages.
Okay, so we can have the 3 that are suggested there, the BNDP update, the volunteer and events, and trading Buckingham Town Council events, and a page on the recycling of food, as per agreement on Monday.
Are we missing a normal back page that is, oh no, that was already in there.
Cover that. Ravina?
If we don't have an article or 2 as such to fill up the gap, because there's so much going on between now and then, I'm sure we'd have like some lovely pictures over the Christmas period, the parade.
We've already got 4 pages of events, we do 2 pages of past
Okay.
events. So we
So
probably
we don't need any more
No, I
pictures.
don't think so.
Okay.
So I think we're okay with that.
Yeah,
Well, I propose therefore that we go for what else is in Appendix A, the update on the BNDP, the volunteering events and the trade, and the one on
Wastebusters.
Wastebuster program
Yeah.
spelled PROGRA.
And for pictures for the front and back cover, usually we do it says, it shouldn't say winter event picture at the top, it should say, usually we have a spring. So last time we had daffodils and things like that.
Something springy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you're going to say something, Margaret?
Yeah, I just wondered, it's made me think about it because it says BNDP update. We had a consultation about the cemetery, and I know that's all agreed, but have we put enough in about the cemetery already?
We have put some stuff out. I'm very much waiting for that finalisation of the land transfer, so we can all go stand there in our Wellingtons and have to take them
Yeah, okay.
before we do the big push on, because we still don't actually own that piece of
No.
land.
I think it stays in the ground.
Yeah,
But we have certainly stuff out, and it was in this newsletter.
There was something,
The
yeah.
due consultation had concluded, and that we're hopeful.
Social media's covered that a little.
It was
Okay.
in this last newsletter.
Yes.
Yes.
There was a thing about the.
No, there definitely was a thing on the cemetery in there. We have listened to you, it's called.
Yes.
Yes, and it
Oh.
had the result of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, in which case we're covered now. I think the next thing.
Oh,
would
yeah,
be
okay.
Probably autumn edition where we've got space in the ground. A bunch of us anyway.
Can I just ask a little question? The volunteer events thing, does that come through TCNE or is that?
No, well, we've done it in the past to recruit more for volunteers. And it was more Louise who wrote that, we have written it before, but I think she did consult TCNE about it as well.
Okay, so long as that's something.
Yeah, that was sort of a standard one we have used, as well as the trade at Buckingham Town Council events, we've used them in spring editions.
It
Previously.
might be worth bringing it back to TCNE as just
Yeah, absolutely.
just to be on the safe side.
But we are talking about street marshals effectively, aren't
Yes.
some of the big events of people being there when the fair comes in, being there for the Women's Parade, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And the one for trade is more just to show, well, obviously it's to recruit more stall holders, so when a lot of them open their books at the start of the calendar year, they can go, oh, I see there's Celebrate Buckingham Day or the Spring Green Fair or something like that, and they have to do it like that. But they're not brand new ones, we have done them, but we will relook at them and make sure the information is accurate as well.
So,
Just the volunteer events ones, just wondering if that visual pronounctions might be something better for the summer anyway, because what we really need is people to remember Sunday is Christmas parade and recruit for that in April.
we don't really have scope in some edition.
Right,
That's the
okay.
problem. Because the decision that was taken last year to cut down the budget more than anybody else's budget. We don't really have scope in some way to do that.
We could just, recruit through our social media over the summer months.
It's
But
just
we'll be looking for people.
Still, I was just thinking, have a big push on volunteers in April, and we don't need them until
Yeah.
November. We risk people being interested and then taking away.
Well, we could say it should shift it to the autumn edition, that was actually too late.
Yeah, that would be around the right time, we could move it to the autumn, yeah, it's not a problem.
So that would probably be really, because if we could have a push on, we really need you to help remember Sunday happen. We
Yes.
can't do it without you marshals.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
great, that would be.
It'll be more front of people's thinking about that, won't it?
Yeah, and also once people have volunteered, you need to give them something to do very quickly.
Yeah.
Otherwise they disappear again.
Yeah,
So that means we've got one more.
exactly, we've got one push over.
Well,
Sorry.
no, it's fine.
That's fine, that's a good point.
We've done, we could have Pontier article if we want to.
Oh, we normally. do
Well, we
that.
like to have something from the university as
Yes.
well,
Yes.
so at least a half a page from the university. So again, invite them to put something in. They will have talks coming up. There are a lot of talks in the town that people aren't aware of. So maybe some links, maybe suggest to them that ways in which we could sign up for information about talks. And, we've got some amazing local speakers. We had the Cuban ambassador here a few months ago, which I missed, sadly. But we had some notable people. We had someone last week I think managed to get to, but it would be too interesting as well. So people are signing up for that. They also have that public involvement forum too. And sometimes got people out, the medical school training. I mean, anything that people can get involved. We've had now the friends of the university.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
So something from the university itself.
But just as a half page.
A half page, I think. It's probably another half page on something else.
Well, how about, is there another not repair cafe, the climate action cafe or whatever it's called? Another one of those planned, because it might be quite nice to advertise that again. If we're doing the
I
thing,
didn't know there was a climate action.
well, what's it called?
Repair cafe.
No, not a repair,
The climate cafe.
the climate cafe, that's what it's called, yeah.
Yeah.
What does the climate cafe?
Is an option for opportunity for people to get together and talk about ways in which they can make changes in their lives to be more climate neutral.
Have we had one of those?
Yes,
Is there
I
not-
didn't go to it, it's a while ago.
I've been to two, I think they've had three, and I went to the first one and the last one, not the middle one.
Okay.
And it was really, the last one, I came away feeling fired up.
Okay.
And that's what Viv Stern came.
Who organises this?
It's a group of, it's a group of relatively young women.
Oh, is it Mothers Can?
Mothers Can.
Mothers Can, they've
Yeah.
attended Celebrate Buckingham Day before. Yeah.
And
so-
it's, I
Okay.
think it's a national organisation, but a group from Buckingham has been formed,
Okay,
and it's really good.
okay.
And I've missed it every time so far because it's not particularly well publicised, or
No,
maybe because I'm not paying attention. That is, of course, also possible. But I think, you know, if you're saying it's a really empowering day, it's something that as a town council is close to our hearts,
Mm.
then maybe half a page on that one
I think-
wouldn't do any harm.
Remember, we usually only put stuff in the newsletter,
Hours.
it's either hours or
Hours.
we're sponsoring it in some way.
Yeah.
This
It isn't
is not
hours.
currently
No.
hours.
and we're
Yeah.
not even giving them a grant or anything.
Okay, yes, fair enough.
So-
But then the same applies to this thing that we've signed.
That's
No,
Buckingham.
formally
That-
agreed to support that, that's why I said.
Oh, I see. Yes, yeah. Okay, so in that case, maybe that isn't the right place for it to go. Then we need to should think of something else.
About citizen device. Considering,
We did the winter checklist, that was helped with by CAB in the last
Yeah.
edition. What's something we.
I was just thinking of all the financial difficulties and everything else going on,
I think we've already covered that, probably.
considering we can get to people that they may not be able to get to, or other, you know, because you can't get a list of people that are, at least this goes through all the doors.
There is a problem with the fact that they no longer have an actual presence in Buckingham.
That's, they do, you just need to open it.
Okay.
Which actually might be something that's worth emphasising.
No, what, that you can't, you have to make a point,
Know that they are still a presence in
Okay.
the town and they are still.
but the building is not able to CAB anymore?
I don't necessarily want to have this conversation, but we really need to have a chat about.
Okay.
Post is something.
Or there's
Clarify information.
there's the banking hub
There is that.
now, you know, soon to be opened. I think.
Hopefully January, but we have no control over that, so I don't know.
Is
No,
it
but
at this
that
stage?
ties in, doesn't it?
No.
I call it a half a page on the banking hub.
Yeah, why don't we, is it sensible at this stage to know we have half a page that we can play with depending on what actually happens in the next couple of months? Would you like that, or do you actually want content for it now?
I think a lot can happen between now and end of January, especially if you're pushing back your deadline
Okay.
until mid-February, that's a long way.
Yeah, so having half
half
a
a back.
Okay,
And when are we next due to meet? Oh, it's on the agenda, isn't it?
Should be 18.
18th of January,
Yeah,
so we're doing it informally online, but. Kind of academic, to a certain extent, we might be operating.
But yeah, half a page is always good because we can pad other stuff that, you know,
Yeah.
if what we've given a
Okay,
half page,
all right.
we need to extend it because there's nothing else we want to include, we can, so that's.
Okay, we'll give a half a page wiggle room then, okay? Or whatever other issues might arise, and as we know, anything can happen in the next half hour. A week is a long time, but. Or whatever. Okay. All right, so I think that means we've covered the 16
Yeah,
pages.
yeah, that's pages.
Okay, cool. Right, going on then to the next thing. Right, ongoing development of the existing website. We discussed at the meeting on Monday, for those of you who weren't at the meeting, a report which highlights the areas of the town who cuts various pieces of grass in the town. This was partly because of what's been happening in Linden, where a company called Blue Skies something have bought out quite a lot of the green spaces in Linden. And we discussed in the context of that, who cuts which grass, which bits are cut by the town council, which bits are cut by Fairhide, which bits are cut by the county, blah, 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 blah. And there is a report which has this information. Much of the information is already on the website. And we were discussing, Karen and I, and I think before we started, that it might be helpful to let people know, the councillors know, at least that it's on the website already, but I know you're currently updating it, Bethany, yes?
Already updated.
Already done,
Yeah.
fantastic, okay. So I think in terms of development of the website, just put a note in that would advise that councillors can be told about this, and we will say, but it's not going to ask, well, not our problem, that's down to there, right? Here's other contact, or that's down to the Shire Council, here's how it comes to them, or that's down to Blue Sky, who have nothing to do with the town either.
And we don't know how to.
And we'll bring the other
contact
questions ever. But we don't know. Aside from that, and we discussed the website in terms of the audio earlier on, are there any other improvements people would like to suggest, or any other things that have cropped up for them with regards to our town council website?
My iPad is blocking me going on to the Discover Buckingham one, saying attackers might be trying to steal your information.
I think that's an issue with the HTTPS. Can you?
I can get on.
Yeah,
It needs reviewing.
I've got the
yeah,
same.
actually, it's just it's giving me this.
Yeah.
Which probably, because this has high security on it, it being Buckinghamshire Council's thing,
Okay,
but,
I'll look at that straight.
okay, so we need to review and discover Buckingham security measures.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Margaret, for that. It's not a website, I don't want to. Any other?
Yes, it's got certificate expired.
Oh, right, okay, there we go.
I can find out why that's not showing. Leave that with me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think the website is good. I would still like to hear that behind the scenes, it's easier to use and to fiddle with, which is the more important aspect. Well, it's important for people to use it, of course, but for us to update it, fiddle with it, add in, the sound bites or whatever.
I think it's the same with when, with the last one, when you learn how to do the process and how to update it at the back end and code things and do that, it's fine. And this one, because it's a newer system and there's newer links and other ways of navigating through the pages, yes, there's been some teething issues because it's just new things to learn, but nothing that you would notice on the front end. So no, it's really good, really positive. And if we do, usually there's little things that we can fix and update ourselves. If there's not, we obviously have a good working relationship, so we can do that with the website developers.
Okay. As always, we're probably not the best people to ask because we don't use the website because we know what's going on mostly anyway and have stuff in our heads. But any other feedback we get from anybody else? Again, back to your point earlier on, Martin, nobody ever posts on the town council website anything useful. People just get on with it.
Exactly.
It's used.
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably way more information on there that anybody actually uses anyway. But that's the way it goes.
I'm struggling to make that error message come up. It's absolutely fine.
Yeah, it's fine for me, it's all.
What browsers? Sorry.
I'm on Firefox.
this
You're probably
one,
on Edge, aren't you?
yeah, this is Edge, because it's this.
And you're
Checked it on Chrome
on,
and Edge.
is that an OS one? Is that an Apple one? So you'll be on Safari, yes.
This is an Apple one as well, but Safari isn't actually on it, so.
Seems to be fine.
Not mine.
But Edge and Chrome. But I've got to read a meeting.
Okay.
Do you want me to screenshot it and send it to you?
Yes, okay.
Yes, certificate date invalid. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, assume that's okay then, folks, moving on, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right, budget review, thank you for the report, Louise, who's not here, but presumably you've got a part in this as well, Bethany.
Yeah.
Thank you for all of that. Significant increase, obviously, of 9%, which is currently more than inflation, but that's to accommodate for the additional graphic design software mainly, isn't it?
Yes, and obviously because inflation is still quite high and the resources for paper and the prices for those, it's around that. A lot of in the one that we will speak about later, it's anywhere from 20 to 30% that they think that their costs are going to go up. So obviously there's just a bit more to buffer to
A bit of
make sure.
contingency.
Yes,
Okay,
contingency.
well, that seems to be reasonable. I thought, one question I had was, I thought we'd already bought this graphic design software. Last year's budget, this year's budget.
No,
We didn't budget.
we haven't done anything.
Okay, go on,
I'm
Tanya.
terribly sorry, I actually need to leave.
Okay, all right, yeah, thanks very much for coming.
We're still quorate. So.
Yeah.
You are still quorum.
Mm.
Okay, so we've got an explanation there of all the budgetary matters. It's a very limited budget, it's very limited, but very important committee of the town council. Recommended the budget changes ahead.
Yeah.
Push those into resources, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed with everybody?
Yeah.
Formally agreed?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, right, we've all agreed now. Right, good. Let's move on. Okay, now we're looking at the meeting dates for next year. I've not looked at my diary as to how those dates correspond. We're pushing back the 18th of January. Is everybody going to push back the 7th of March one as well?
Are we pushing that date back, or the meeting date?
Or just the 18th of January day?
I don't think we were pushing the date of the meeting.
Meeting back, I thought we were doing the.
Oh, right, we're going to the meetings as per then.
In fact, if we're pushing back the dates of everything being handed in, that meeting date looks perfect.
Yeah, because there will be some things that we can, the article deadline will still sort of stay the same and similar, from sort of our, straight back from Christmas. But yes, if we push that back a week, that will still, there might be less that we agree in the meeting and talk about, but there will be still stuff that you can sort of look through and check grammatical errors and things like that. And then we can do the rest online via email and things as we normally do.
Okay, I've got a clash for the 11th of April.
So are you saying we're having it on the 18th or not?
Yes.
Yes, sticking with the 18th, okay. Of January, yeah.
I give my apologies for that. I will be next door.
Oh no, you won't.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I will.
Okay, I'm okay with all of those dates, not in my diary yet, except for the 11th of April. So that's an online meeting. So just one meeting I can't make because I've got that one meeting with the Irish houses on that day.
They are on the calendar, it's agreed by the council.
Some dates put in my diary without my choice.
No, I'll just say that this is to know they have.
They have a briefing, yeah. I know that, it's okay. So we'll just agree those dates.
Yeah.
They've already been agreed by full council, anybody who says it's been them. Put them in your diary.
Yeah.
Right, press releases. Have a report on this. Thank you very much. One thing I noted was the phrase, but didn't appear in the paper. That features quite a lot.
Yeah.
So two thoughts occur. Was obviously we focus a lot on social media. We've talked about that in the past, and it's working very well for us. We haven't got a social media report today, but generally speaking, our social media doesn't do bad, actually does well, and increasingly so on Instagram and not so much on Twitter these days, but certainly on Facebook.
Yeah.
TikTok channel. Okay. But I did wonder whether it was worth having a discussion with the editor.
I know Louise has,
Sorry, say it again.
I know Louise has spoken to the editor of the newsletter about various things because, as you said, there are a lot on here that say doesn't appear on the paper.
Yeah.
As you know, they've swapped how we, so when we circulate them, we now have to circulate them on an online portal. They all do appear online on their online portal, but some just don't make it into the paper. So I know Louise has been having discussions about various things about that.
Could we have a report back about that next meeting? Where those discussions have gone? Yeah. Is there anything more that we can do to get things into hard copy?
I would say, John, I know that we pushed on this. I think one of the problems is that there's been quite a lot of cuts at our local newspaper. They are, I mean, I get the impression, not to say too much online, but that it's cobbled together very quickly, find some stuff under a lot of pressure. I think sometimes it's for our job, but Louise has a job.
I'm not doubting that in any way. Could we have an update on that on the agenda?
Yes.
Talbotsworth. Not
Well,
trying to do that avenue of distribution, isn't it?
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, would be interesting to see what their distribution is right now. With the newspaper in comparison to, I don't know how many hits on Facebook, our page hits and so on.
Well, what I read in the national press is that local papers are dropping down the plug, effectively, not only in print but also online as well. Because as you probably know, you go to an online newspaper, you're assaulted
Yeah,
by all manner of pop-ups,
yeah,
and it becomes almost impossible to navigate the
yeah,
site. And you give up,
yeah,
and in the end resort to really social media. And that's where people get their information from about local events now and
Yeah.
news. And it just doesn't happen any other way. I mean, the fact of the matter is, people still think that it has, unless it's actually in the real paper, it's not real. I mean, even when I had asked to publish in the Guardian, which showed my mother very proudly, said, yeah, it's not in the paper. Thank you. You know, sort of thing. So I don't know. Let's have a bigger discussion about this at the next meeting, when we've got some info from Louise and whatever she can share about these discussions she's had with the local editorial team. But I think we recognise that it's a very difficult marketplace, and social media has not helped their case.
yeah.
It's just like okay, all right. But thank you for the list and a good number of press releases. And we're keeping ourselves out there and people know we exist, which is really what it's about and know what we're doing. Okay. So chair's items, don't think I have any, do I, Bethan? Looking at the notes I made before I came. Okay, so next meeting formally, well, not formally, but informally, as an online meeting is on the 18th of January. At 1 PM. And we'll be doing it online. And obviously it's not broadcast at that point, it's just an informal meeting.